Hello guys, good day. This is Practifile, and today I am finally going to do a comparison and a very quick review on the three KZ IMs that I've got here. In my previous video, I unboxed and gave my first impression with the KZ D-Fi non-tunable version, and I was able to borrow from a friend, from two friends actually, the tunable version and the ZVX. So yeah, let's try to like get a sense of how these three compare. So where do I start? I think I'm gonna start with the ZVX. Yeah, the ZVX is actually a very good sounding pair. I mean, people were right. I mean, their reviews, I think, the reviews online, I think, are somewhat true in my experience. So for me, it's a very balanced set that is very smooth overall, like from the bass to the gain to the treble. So I think this is the smoothest of the three, and I actually have a comparison here. If you see the graph, I'm comparing them with the Ling Long, because I feel that if you like the tonality of the Ling Long, the ZVX might be very close to how the Ling Long sounds. Yeah, the Ling Long has more sub bass, but like really, like if you want an upgrade for the Ling Long, I think the ZVX is just, you get that very similar feel. How do I say? Like the gain is very similar. Maybe the Ling Long sounds cleaner in the treble overall, but I think the ZVX has better extension. As you can see here, like they basically it's just 90% that they follow the same curve. That's just for me though. I really think that the ZVX is a very smooth sounding pair. Yeah, I guess that's my short review of it. And if I'm going to score, maybe I'll give the tonality maybe 2.5. Maybe because, yeah, I would want a little less bass. I mean, it's not really muddy, but having less bass might open up some micro details and nuances. For the bass, I also give it 2.5. For some reason, it's sub bass focused, and I would want it to have like a little bit more body, and I don't know, it's just me though. Mids though, they're very good. Yeah, I think the mids on these are really good. Instrument sounded very natural, and yeah, just organic. For the treble, I give it 2.5 because it could use a little bit of extension from here. I think that's it. For the overall technicalities, it's also 2.5. So that's a total of 13. So it's an A for me. The ZVX is easily an A, which is actually very good for a KZ set. So moving on to the D-Fi that is tunable. This is really an interesting set. This is the configuration that I find the more, like, I find it more pleasing to listen to. It's the up down down up. So some people might like the down 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 up, but for me it's like, as you can see here, there's some energy here around 4K and then a sudden dip. So with this a bit of dark treble, it kind of pronounces the upper mids a little bit, making vocal sound a bit nasal and, yeah, sometimes shouty, and there's not enough bass to compensate for it. So yeah, but the good thing is you actually have, the switches, and you can, move this bass up to compensate for it. Now, it makes the tonality V or very balanced, but what I like about the lesser bass is it just sounds more open to me. I think it's the most neutral KZ that I've heard in this configuration, because you can go as low as like what, 3 dB only, I think. So that's kind of low on the bass actually. And with the all down and last up, like that DDDDU, I think. It's neutral, but I feel like I needed that sub bass here. I think I needed that last, the sub bass here, just to make the bass more fuller sounding. But I also felt that with the all, if I don't raise the first switch, for my ears, it's just a little bit shouty because of the energy here. So at least with this configuration, I get, I get enough balance. So yeah, that's for the non-tunable. And to score this one here, of course, the tonality, I'd easily give this a 3 because you can customize it to your liking. It's just a 3. I mean, from neutral to a V shape, I think that's you know that's easily a 3 for me. For the bass though, I'll give it like a 2 only, average. I mean, you can tune the bass, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something about the bass that doesn't click on me just for some reason. The mids though, as I've mentioned, they're very open sounding. I give it a 3 for the mids. Treble, I find them a little bit dark but relaxing, there aren't any peaks in the treble, but be mindful though, this around here, this can be like a bit nasal. I don't know for you, but for me, I find it nasal on some vocals. And for the treble, I don't know, yeah, treble is 2.5, and for the overall technicalities, that's 2.5. Again, it's an A score. It's an A score for me, easily an A. Yeah. So thank you again for my friend who loaned this. So this is not the stock cable anyway, it's his cable. So, and finally, with the comparison to what? So the non-tunable version. What can I say? I like the non-tunable version because, okay, if I overlap this, you can see that it looks a bit more bassy on graphs, and you can actually achieve that with the tunable version. But the thing is, it's not as bassy as it's graphed, at least when using the foam tips. And what you get is you get a very balanced sound, and you don't get a lot of dip here around the presence region. So like the vocals doesn't sound as nasal as the tunable version, and it also extends pretty well. It extends better than the tunable version. So for me, I get better balance with the non-tunable version, and for me also, I get better resolution. I don't know, for some reason I get better resolution with these compared to the ZVX and the tunable version. I don't know if it's because of the switches or the impedance affecting clarity, but for my ears, they just sound the most fun, and like the clarity is just way above both for me. But still, you can't go wrong with the 3. It really depends on your preference. If you want smooth sounding pair, maybe you get the ZVX. If you want like tunable switches, you get the D-Fi tunable. And maybe if you want like better balance, but yeah, better balance, maybe the non-tunable version. It's also cheaper. So just bear in mind that you get that some energy here around 4 to 5K, which makes vocals and some instruments a bit more forward. Maybe it can be fatiguing in long listening sessions, but maybe I see some fatigue here actually. So I might rank this lower, like 0.5, not an S, but just an A plus. But still, come on, man, it's crazy good. Because I actually compared the D-Fi to Oxygen and Tanya's, like the Tungsten Tanya's. They really resemble. Like, I don't know, I don't have a graph of them, but I compared it with like other graphs like Paul Wasabi's and other reviewers. Graph wise, they're like 90% identical, and as far as I remember, they really do sound similar. Then they're different. With regards to the D-Fi, it's closer to the sound of, like, you can get this very close to the sound of the Duno Titan S. Like, if I pull the graphs here, like, look at that. Look how similar that graph is, okay? Duno Titan S and my configuration, it's very, very similar. It's just that the Duno Titan S has, like, more upper treble presence, which kind of like balances out the dip here. But still, I mean, very open sounding and very good pair actually. For the ZVX, where's the ZVX? It sounds like yeah, what can I think of? It sounds like a bassy Galileo. For some reason, let me just, for the ZVX, it sounds like a Galileo. Look at that. Yeah, for me, it really does resemble, like, the ZVX sounds like, because the mids and the vocals are very reminiscent of the Galileo, like that open sounding. It's just that it sounds a bit more bassy and dirtier. If you like to call that. Yeah, they same that a bit of, like, rolled off treble. It doesn't sound thin or muted at all, but just overall it sounds a bit more bassy than. So if you feel like the Galileo doesn't have enough bass, maybe the ZVX can be a good choice for you if you're in a budget. But just looking at the graphs, they do resemble. So yeah, what else? I guess that's it, man. Like, these three, I call them like the three musketeers, and the non-tunable version being my favorite of the three. I just like the clarity on these, and the energy around 4 to 5K, and the extension overall. You can't go wrong really with all the three, but just look at other reviews, and maybe watch other reviews. But as of the moment, I think I'm the only one who has reviewed the non-tunable version, and I think I'm the only one who has a comparison to all the three budget offerings from KZ. I think that's it for now, guys. If you find this video helpful, consider liking my video or subscribing. I really aim to go 1K, or I know, at least improve my channel a bit. Join my Discord server as well if you want to, have some conversation. It's hard to track all comments on Facebook, so Discord will be very, very easy for me to, answer your questions. And yeah, I think that's it. And I hope you have a nice day there. Bye bye.